and Jen. It's time to speak up.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vernisa, and this is our podcast, Speak Up. Jen couldn't make it tonight, so I will be holding it down for her tonight. Hey, bestie, if you outside listening, for those of you that don't know, me and Jen are best friends, and we create this podcast to use our voices to motivate people to overcome life's challenges through self love and respect. So, appreciate y'all tapping in. We had a great live audience show a couple weeks ago. I just want to say that thank you to everybody who came out. It was amazing just to be on stage again. More shows are to come. Thank you, Podcast Pit. Thank you, Keith, for allowing us to be a part of that. So, before we get started, a quick shout out to our amazing sponsors. Shout out to My Bar, located at 720 East Manchester. Get your nails, your lashes, your hair done. Ask for My. Tell them that Speak Up JV sent you. The Instagram to book your appointment is at nyy.bar. And also shout out to Be Actual Natural. Why settle for less? All their products are created with you in mind for a goal to let your self-love show through your self-care. The chemical-free hair and skincare products are handmade, plant-based, and are free of fillers or preservatives. Treat yourself while you're taking care of yourself. Start your journey at www.beactualnatural.com. The Instagram is at beactualnatural. And the owner of the business just released a book called Swipe Right. So please tap in on that. So tonight, the live episode is episode 70. Man, time is just flying on the Good News Radio. I just want to say that. Like, I can't believe we've already done 70 episodes on the Good News Radio. But tonight's live episode is titled Take the Smooth Route. So tonight, I'm gonna be talking about patience and going through the challenge. The reason why I call it the smooth route is because when you go through a challenge, yes, it can be a bumpy road, but patience actually makes it smoother. So that's why I decided to name it that for tonight. So we're gonna debunk that because I know it's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. Things are just crazy. And sometimes we have personal obstacles we're facing that, we probably didn't open up about or we're getting frustrated about as we're going through it. But in my experience, I learned the importance of patience. I feel like patience has allowed me to think clearer. It actually allowed time to go faster too. When I'm wanting time to go fast and I'm being impatient, it actually goes slower. So it's crazy because it's like it shows how powerful our mind is and how it can be for us or against us when we are going through a certain struggle. So that's what we're getting a little into today. So on our social media platforms, we posted our Ask Up question, and the Ask Up question of the day is, how do you still take care of yourself when dealing with challenging moments? So that was the Ask Up question for tonight. And I want to say too, if you're listening right now live on the app, you can enter our chat room. And just click chat room on there, make up a screen name, and you can ask questions and engage. And also, if you want to call in, you call in at area code 323-900-0478. So, for me to answer the actual question for today, so how do I still take care of myself when dealing with challenging moments? I learned to pause and take a deep breath. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. I let my thoughts get the best of me. And my lesson for this week is actually is to be mindful of this exact moment. We say take things day by day, but I've been learning to be mindful of the exact moment. So I had a moment where I was like all over the place. I was thinking about what's going to happen next week and the week after. And I said, you know what, Bernice, it is Tuesday. It is this time. You're on your way to work or whatever you're doing. Focus on that exact moment. Honestly, that gave me peace because I noticed that when you do that, you're actually putting yourself through extra stress that you shouldn't even have to go through in the first place. Another thing for me is prayer. So that's one way too, because when I prayed, it allows me to let things go after I say my prayers. So feel free to drop in the comments. What do you do when you're going through challenges? I would love to hear how you guys get through things. Because, in the day, this is an open discussion. And, we are all fighting battles that we don't talk about. And it's good to know like how we're all coping through things that we're going through. So, in a day, challenges will always arise, but how you handle them is what matters the most. They say, what is it? 10% of life is what happens to us, 90% is how we handle it. And it's true because things are inevitable. Challenges are inevitable. Things are going to happen to us. We're going to get tested, all that stuff. But really, our reaction plays the most of it. I've been learning to shift my perspective, really figure out what is this teaching me? Why am I going through it? Shoot, how can I make it a smoother route? And patience, honestly, has been that way for me. So that's just something that I want to throw in there. Another thing too, don't be afraid of the lesson. When we're afraid of the lesson, we actually make the challenge go longer, because all the times I've been afraid of the lesson, I've caught myself going through that same lesson over and over again. Life's going, the book, I want to think, I forgot the name of that book. Can I think of the name of the book? But it's by Robert Kiyosaki. And he talks about that, how life will keep throwing you the same lesson until you learn it. And I used to think that was funny, like, oh, whatever. But it's true. If you don't allow yourself to learn, you're actually not going to take up that wisdom. So when that same obstacle is thrown at you, you're actually going to go through the same thing over and over again. So I've been learning the importance of that, of really sitting and figuring out what the lesson is. And then it's like, once I learn that lesson, the challenge doesn't seem so bad, because I'd be so proud of the person I become after going through that challenge. And I think it's important to like allow that challenge to teach you. Shoot, what's wrong with it? In the day, the people that we are today is because we've been through certain challenges and we got through them and we allowed ourselves to learn. Shout out to Punchline Punch podcast in the chats all the way from New York. What's up? Thank you for tapping in. He dropped the 100 sign. Glad you feeling what I'm saying. I'm glad you feeling it. Feel free to call in if you want to. The number is 323-900-0478. Now let's talk about our minds, right? So our mind can make a situation go smoother or go harder. Like I said earlier, your mind could be your best friend or your biggest enemy, and we underestimate how powerful our minds really could be. It's already bad enough you're dealing with a challenge, right? But if you're sitting there and your mind is now challenging you, that's double that you have to go through. Especially if you're telling yourself you can't get through something and you're playing bad scenarios in your mind. That challenge is definitely going to be hard to get through. But I learned to have a positive mindset when going through things, talking myself through the patience as I'm going through it. Because end of the day, that's what's going to get you through at the end. And patience has brought me calmness. It's so easy to clear my mind and think on the right decision when I'm calm. When my brain's all over the place, I don't know about y'all. I make the worst decisions ever, and I be sitting there looking over there mad. So allow yourself to process what's going on. I know we in this fast paced world, everything has to happen now. This, and this. We get bad news or we get challenging news, and we go crazy. But in a day, like, allow yourself to process so you can pivot and make the best decision. Shout out to Keith. I remember one of his episodes, he talked about the importance of pivoting when things are happening to you. It's like things are going to happen, but how are you going to adjust? That's a nugget that stuck with me, because I've been thinking about that. Like, when things do change, because, we have a plan. We always have a plan, right? Oh, things are going to go this way, things are going to that way. But we don't think about when those bumps come into the road, how are we going to react? And I learned to be proactive instead of reactive. We're really just like, okay, this happened. What am I going to do to it to make adjustments? It doesn't mean I'm quitting, doesn't mean I'm stopping. It just means I'm taking a different route. Just like when you see a detour on the freeway, it's the exact same concept. You still gonna get to your destination. It may take a little longer. You might have to change a couple things, but you still gonna get there. You didn't turn back around and go back home. And I think that's how we have to look at life sometimes when things are happening. And ain't nothing like a damn impulsive decision. Like I said, my impulsive decisions are not the best. Have you ever made a decision when you're mad, when you're extra happy? It never works out. You end up regretting what you did. And then guess what? You're putting yourself through an extra challenge that you don't have to go through in the first place. So that's something else I think I want to put out there. Because, our show focus on self love and inner peace. And self love and inner peace is making the right decisions. And you don't got inner peace when you making impulsive decisions all the time. You're acting out of your ego, you're acting out of your reaction, you're letting the situation get the best of you. So I think that's something to pay attention to when going through it. Feel free to drop y'all ways of dealing with your impulsive decisions. I be having to calm myself down sometimes. I just have to throw that out there. What's up, Deshaun, in the comments? I see you. I just want to say what's up to y'all in the chat real quick. And I want to say too, don't forget to take care of yourself when going through challenges. Sometimes we let the challenges get the best of us to where we forget who we are. We forget like why we started, what we wanted. Don't let that challenge distract you. Okay, the challenge is there, but use it to your advantage. Honestly, challenges make me go harder. I'm gonna be real with you. There was a time I'll be like, oh damn, this happened, but I don't know. It's something about a challenge that sparks that flame in me. Like, okay, I gotta go harder now. And guess what? When you go harder, it's gonna be more effective. You're gonna get more things done when you do that. When you let the challenge defeat you, let the challenge just stop you completely. You let the challenge win. So in the day, you have to take care of your mind. You have to be nice to yourself. Still practice that self care. Still take those breaks. Don't even when you're going harder, because you work your best right when you're well rested, when you're taking care of yourself through it. It's really big. This podcast is about the relationship with yourself. Do not forget that. I don't care what it is, if it's something with family or nothing like that. Please do not forget to take care of yourself. This is that reminder I'm going to throw out there today. If you didn't do something for yourself today, if you're listening to Speak Up JB right now, please, after this episode, do something for yourself. Please, you owe that to yourself, especially after having a long Thursday. And now let's talk about too the relationship of positive self-talk and patience. So, like I said, patience gets you through the challenge, right? But let's talk about effective patience. We can be patient. Patience ain't just sitting around waiting, sitting there like, okay, I'm gonna wait for it. What are you doing in that time? That's what matters. You're waiting, right? But are you doing what you can during it? And also, how are you speaking to yourself? Somebody real special in my life, she dropped some gems, talking about positive self talk. And honestly, I have to talk about this on every episode because, excuse me, it's definitely what has been helping me rewire my brain. While you're being patient, please be nice to yourself, because we could be sitting there considering ourselves being patient, waiting around, but we're being mean to ourselves the whole time. And being mean to yourself ain't it, right? All you gonna do is kick dirt on you while you're doing it. Shout out to Active LA. They say, yo, happy Thursday. Good to your live stream. I mean, to say good catching your live stream. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for tapping in. Feel free to engage in the discussion. I appreciate you hopping on here. But yeah, what are some positive self-talk things that you say to yourself when going through a challenge? I like to tell myself I will get through this. This too shall pass. Those are big things for me because I have to remind myself that I've been through worse. I will get through. You have to speak yourself through it, through the challenge. And that all goes with patience. All that stuff is hand in hand. In a day, you're doubling the hardship. So if you're being mean to yourself while going through it, guess what? You're going to lose motivation. You're going to not have empathy for yourself. You're going to kick yourself when you're down. It's bad enough this world kicks you when you're down. It's bad enough haters kick you when you're down. Why you want to kick yourself when you're down? Answer that. You really have to take the time to keep pouring into yourself even when the challenge is hitting you. Active LA said, nice to meet you ladies at the podcast pit LA. Yes, nice to meet you. Thank you for showing up. That was super dope. I'm glad you're on here. Glad you're on here. Oh, my little sister just hopped in here. Hey, baby sis. Look. I told her to chime in and she did. So I want to say too, when you're going through the challenge, it's important to have a solution-based mindset. You ever meet somebody and y'all going through a challenge, something happens, and all of a sudden they just thinking of all the problems. No, but they ain't trying to think of no solutions. They just adding to it, putting more to the flame, right? Adding fire to the flame. Stay away from that. You need to be around solution-based mindset people. You need to have a solution-based mindset. Something happened, think of how you can fix it versus how it's getting worse. How can it get worse? Because all you doing is making it worse. You're actually fueling the challenge. I'm just saying this. I think this episode is important because we think, I feel like everyone's like, oh, I'm striving for happiness. I'm on this road to success. I don't care how successful you are, how happy you are. The challenges don't stop. Life is full of challenges. So this is definitely a life gem that you have to take with you on your journey. Success ain't no endpoint. Happiness ain't no endpoint. And challenges don't have an ending either. Ask all the successful people. They still go through stuff, right? Stuff's still happening. But your mind is always with you. I don't care how successful you are. The world could see you as the most successful person in the world. But if you don't think that internally, you're not going to feel it. I don't care how many blessings, how many gifts you get, how much money you make. If you're telling yourself that you're not successful, you're going to believe that. If you believe that you're not happy, that's how you're going to feel. So you really have to be careful what you are saying to yourself. And I want to say this too. It is important to not give up when things get rocky. Honestly, it's true. The blessing is right outside that door when you pass that rocky stage. You never know. It could have been one more day and that blessing could have been there. Think about why you started in the first place. Think about how important something is to you. Weigh out your options when going through it. I definitely want to throw that out there. And you need to be real with yourself during these time periods. I say that because how many of us, we're going through a challenge or we're not our best and we lie to ourselves and make it seem like everything's all good when it's not. A part of that patience too, yes, is being nice to yourself, telling yourself you're going to get through it, but also acknowledging that if you're not okay. I'm not saying act like everything's all good and that, you're not going through the challenge. No, acknowledge that that challenge is there. But then you have your moment and you get yourself back up and you come with that game plan for whatever you're actually going through. I think that's important too. It's beautiful to acknowledge the challenge. Give that. It's like we say with our me and Jen had an episode about nurturing your, being acknowledging your dark side and your light side, right? We're not always going to be this happy-go-lucky person, but you have to love yourself too when you're not at your best. So it's the same with the challenge. Just like when life is great, right? You're acknowledging it. You need to go through too when it's not so great and see what needs to be worked out and what you can learn and how you become a better person after dealing with it. That's just something that I want to throw out there. And sometimes too, you have to sit back and just let a situation play out too. There's only so many things that are in our control. I learned to control. Like me, I'm the oldest of five siblings, right? I mean, I have two and two sisters, and I've always had this sense of control. Like feeling like I gotta control everything, this, and this, and doing that. There's always been that letdown because you realize you can't control everything, or I'll catch myself stressing over things that I can't control. Now that I've like pushed things to the side, okay, this is what's in my control. This is what today is. This is what I'm focused on. It's been easier to get through. And I've been able to let things play out and know that things are always working in my favor, even if it is a challenge. You never know what you're being protected from. Yes, it may have went exactly if how you want it, but it's so much you that could have been prevented. Things always could have been worse. So it is now time for our tweet up segment. So y'all who got me on Twitter, y'all know I love to tweet. So my tweet up tweet for today is patience is good for you. I'm gonna say that again. Patience is good for you. And it is. It is good for you. It's a part of self-love and inner peace. You need to be patient with yourself. You need to be patient with the people around you. You need to be patient with the challenge. You need to be patient through the challenge. All those things matter. And I've been trying to master it. We're not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm trying to, learn every day how I can become more, just equipped for the challenges that are coming at me. But mastering my patience, working on that has definitely helped me when dealing with things. And patience is a great teacher. I say lessons, get the lesson, but patience is that teacher that's going to teach you the lesson. So let patience teach you. Let patience heal you. Let patience grow you. That's something else that I want to throw out there on this episode as well. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask on here. I'm proud of myself doing all this. Okay, so um I want to say this too. What Also reflect on your coping mechanisms. Are they healthy? Are they unhealthy? Like, what do you like to do when you're under stress? What do you do when a challenge hits you? I think that's something, we talk about self reflection a lot, right? We reflect about the people around us, we reflect on ourselves. But I think we also need to reflect on how we act when things don't go our way. You know, having unhealthy ways of coping is actually going to make the challenge worse. Because, yeah, it might numb you through it, but then after you have more effects to deal with. It actually will give you that setback once that numbness or whatever it is goes away. So I've been having to like really think about what do I do when I'm not feeling my best. You know, utilize your healthy coping mechanism when things happen. So me personally, I like to write poetry. So I've been learning like if I ain't feeling my best, write that shit out. Come up with a poem. Tap into my creative side. You like to draw, draw. Go take a walk. Call that good friend who gonna give you that real advice, that real nurturing. You know, these are things. Go ride a bike. Do a physical activity. We have to stay. This world is constantly trying us, right? And you have to keep yourself grounded. It's only so much somebody else can do for us. But what are you doing for yourself? That's a question that you have to ask yourself when dealing with things. Another thing I like to do is take 5 minutes of silence a day. So I'll sit down, cross my legs, close my eyes, and just breathe and meditate on my thoughts and like release whatever is holding me back. Release those things that are allow me to go deeper into my head, allow me to be mean to myself, figure out exactly what's going on. Um, Shout out to Mia from Simply Wholesome. I remember she came on our episode and she said when she takes a shower, she lets the water fall on her and she uses that as a way to release and let go of any attachments that she had for the day. So I had to reshare that, Jim, because I thought that was cool. Like I've been mindful of that too when I'm in the shower, of letting go of things that I've held on to all day that I shouldn't have been. Some other advice that was given to me on this topic too is to reflect on what's working and what isn't. I was actually asked to do this exercise last week because I was so overwhelmed. And I really sat down, I paid attention to what I gave my energy and time to. And now that I know what's working for me and what's not, I've been cutting and deleting what's not working for me or giving less time and energy to it and focusing more on those things that is working for me, that's helping me get closer to my goals or helping me with my self-love and inner peace. These are just examples. So hopefully some of these tips help you guys out there if you guys had a rough week or is there something that you guys are working through, a challenge. These are definitely ways that's been helping me. Feel free to share anything that you guys do. Active LA said patience is power. They also said that's good advice. Thank you. I'm glad it worked out for you. And yeah, you know what? I'll challenge y'all all to try those steps, and let me know how it's working for you because I do want to say it's definitely has worked for me. Just being real. I gotta keep the music in the background. I gotta have like background noise when I'm on here. And also too, always have a good support group. Speak Up JV. They always say y'all we're you guys as homegirls. Y'all can listen to. So I appreciate all those compliments that we have gotten about this. But always have that, and I mean a positive, healthy support group. Not somebody who's gonna egg on what you're going through. Not people that you trauma bond with either. Look out for those relationships out there that you trauma bond with. In the day, those actually add flames to the challenge. You got people too, they're secretly waiting for you to have a down moment. So what are they gonna do when you going through a challenge? They're gonna put more into your head, so you worry even more and be more stressed out. So be mindful of that. Like I said, are you hanging around solution based people or people who are just adding problems, adding fire to the flame? Please evaluate your circle. That's big too, because I'm sorry, we spend a lot of time with our circle, especially when you don't feel like being, when you're not with yourself, right? Evaluate all your friends. And as I've been growing as a woman, I've been seeing myself outgrow a lot of friendships. It doesn't mean I'm better than them, this and that. We just growing apart, and that's okay. But I've been having to do a lot of deep reflecting, like who am I trauma bonding with? Who am I comfortable in my trauma with when I'm around them? You know what I mean? And who's really helping me, pouring into me, nurturing me, and like really talking me through whatever challenge I'm going through. Now, I want to say too, give yourself grace too when you don't feel your strongest. So the other day, I had to admit, actually, this was last week. I had a challenging week last week, actually. And I admitted to my friend that, shoot, my homegirl, that my superwoman cape is hanging crooked right now on my back. And it's okay to be real with yourself and admit that and admit it to others. We don't have to be strong all the time. We're not always going to be strong. Sometimes that challenge is going to kick your ass. Okay, but it's about getting back up and getting through it. You know, give yourself that grace, give yourself that love, give yourself that nurturing that you would give your friend if y'all was running and they fell and you would go back and pick them up. Sometimes you have to be that person for yourself as well too. I just want to put that out there because I think sometimes we could become hard on ourselves when we're not doing our best, we're not meeting those deadlines, we're not going as hard as we usually do. I know that I'm my biggest enemy sometimes. Sometimes I put extra pressure on myself that I do not need to put on myself. So I'm just telling you guys this as words of encouragement. If you've been doing that, please don't be afraid to give yourself grace. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't mean you gave up. None of that. It just means you're being real with yourself and you're doing the best that you can to pick yourself back up. So it's time for our life up segment. So this is when we take the current topic and we relate it to real life somehow, some way, and we think of a solution. So the life up segment for tonight is how we expect every challenge / problem to be solved instantly. Come on, right? Everything. We got Instagram, everything's at a click, everything, right? So, I feel like things will happen, right? And we're just like, why isn't it fixed already? Da, 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 da. We're human. We're naturally going to want to be comfortable, right? Want things to get better. But I've been learning that that's the point of this patience that we're talking about in this episode. Sometimes the challenge is going to be long. It's not going to be no quick challenge that goes away in a day. Some challenges take years to get past, right? But that's where that patience kick in to at least make the road smoother. Do what you can in those times of the storm. Stuff could still be done in the time of the storm. Another thing of the life up segment is the fear of admitting that we are not okay. I'm sorry, admit that you're not okay. I don't know why there's this stigma that we have to be perfect all the time, that we're always in this best mood, this and that, everything's going great. There's times we all fall, we all drop. Like I said, I'm not afraid to admit that last week was not the week for me. But you know what? I'm proud I didn't give up on myself last week because, look, I'm feeling bombed today. I'm able to speak on this mic and talk to y'all amazing people. And also, too, another part of our life up segment is the lack of catching lessons in the challenge. please search for that lesson and figure out what the hell is going on so you can learn through, at least get something out of it, right? There's nothing wrong with that. How do we fix this? I would say don't be afraid to admit that you're not okay. Patience through the challenge and allow yourself to learn. Please allow yourself to learn. We actually hinder our growth when we reject the lesson. We think we know everything. We think that there's nothing left for us to learn. We reject people who are genuinely trying to teach us things. I learned that you can learn literally from everybody. I don't care how many credentials you got. If you're older than, I learn from my little sisters all the time, actually. But if I sat there being stubborn, acting like no one could teach me nothing, you're actually losing out on what life is offering you. Life has so many gems hidden in it, and I think it's a beautiful thing when you take the time to allow yourself to grasp them and move forward and teach somebody else. That's where wisdom comes from. I'm not afraid of wisdom anymore. I think wisdom is a beautiful thing. I think people who are wise are amazing, right? So please allow yourself to become that wise too and get through everything. So a quick shout out to our newest sponsor, AM Luxury Love Cosmetics. Y'all please tap in. It is a luxury organic skincare line. They believe that knowledge is power, so they want to advocate an inclusive, healthy lifestyle. Shop now for some amazing products. The IG is at AM Luxury Love Cosmetics, and love is spelled LUV. I want to say an amazing brand. I already started putting this stuff on my tattoos, and let me say that stuff works good. She also does pop-up shops on Melrose and in downtown LA. So tap in, y'all. So we're actually about to take a quick 3-minute commercial break. So please get your water ready for the water segment, and we'll be back with more Speak Up JV. See you in a little bit. More Speak Up JV. See you in a little bit.
Girl, what you doing on Tuesday?
Girl, I'm going to be listening to Never Not Extra.
Oh, word? What time they come on?
Girl, they come on at 8:30, but only on Pacific Standard Time. So 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Okay. How do I listen though?
Only on the Good News Radio app, girl.
The Good News Radio app? Okay, I'm about to download that right now.
Go ahead and download that shit, girl. And get in the comments, girl.
Oh, I'm going to be up in there.
Because Kirsten be crazy.
And Moni be spilling that tea.
Ooh, all right. See you on Tuesday, girl.
Yo, this is Jason Lee from Hollywood Unlocked, and even though they extra as hell, check out Never Not Extra on TGN Network.
That's right.
Y'all gotta have notes, cue cards, teleprompter.
Are you trying to buy a home, car, or make other investments and being discriminated against because of your credit score? At credit909.com, our professionals can help you remove judgments, student loans, child support, medical bills, and other erroneous and negative items on your credit report. Call 800-752-9763 today for a free credit analysis and consultation, or text credit to 909-688-5461.
Yo, what's cracking, fools? It's your boy, Caesar Leo. Caesar Leo knows it all. Check me out every Tuesday at 1 p.m. right here on TGN Latinx, the authority in radio and podcast. Let's go, baby. And what? Fool, you don't like it? So what?
It's back, Jax. Have you heard? It's back.
Michael, what are you talking about? What's back?
The podcast pit. It is returning Monday, May 23rd. Brand new venue.
Oh my God, the podcast pit is back. Exciting. Where's it at?
It's going to be at Jax's Daily at 7:30 p.m.
I know where that's at. That's at 11168 Washington Boulevard in Culver City.
So, Jax, will I see you there?
Oh, you know it, baby.
Hey, my name is Jasmine Sweets, and I'm so excited to be bringing you The Sweet Spot on TGN Vibes, Good Vibes, and R&B. Playing the old school, new school, and in between. I'm coming to you this summer. Stay tuned.
Hey there, business owners. Don't miss our limited time offer. Advertise on the Good News Radio as low as $2 per commercial slot. That's right. Promote your business up to 4 times a day, every day for a month on live radio. If you're interested, email us at contact@tgnradio.net. Once again, that's contact@tgnradio.net.
Hey, beautiful people. It is the baddest bitch on the block, Eric Devante.
And it's me, Kelvin Unique, and we are the Get Right Radio Show.
Here on TGN Talk. Are you going to church on Sunday?
Hell no, I'll be right here live at 10. We got all the celebrity entertainment news with my favorite segment.
Bitch, you better read.
All right, y'all. I am back with episode 70 of Speak Up JV on the Good News Radio. So tonight's episode is called Take the Smooth Route. So I am talking about being patient through the challenge. Super huge, right? For those of y'all just tuning in, it's important to be patient through the challenge, right? How many of us, we're going through some challenges, right? And we just be all over the place. We're not thinking straight, and actually the challenge ends up getting worse, right? So I'm gonna jump back into the episode. So today, don't be afraid to admit that you are going through a challenging time. I really appreciate my friend group because I love how open and honest we are when we're not feeling our best. Like my friends, they be straight up like, girl, this I'm going through this. I need some time, blah, blah, blah. Or I could be open with them. I feel safe to tell my friends, to tell my family, look, this ain't it for me. This ain't the time right now. And there's so much power that comes with that because you never know who's going to be empathetic with you through that time, right? We try to act all appear strong all the time, tough. And when we do that, I feel like sometimes people end up putting us on this pedestal that nothing's ever wrong with us, right? And I feel like when you end up going through a challenge, you're really not okay. We get frustrated because no one ends up checking on us, right? Nobody ends up even caring, right? If you're not going okay. But if you're always acting like everything's always all right, how are people supposed to know that you're not okay? Now, if you express this to somebody and they don't give a F, honestly, you do not need to have them in your circle. Because I've had people in my life where I expressed that I wasn't okay and they actually took that as a time to kick me when I was down or add to it, right? Or, make it seem like, oh, toughen up, oh, blah, blah, blah. You need people in your circle who are empathetic when you're going through a challenging time. I'm not saying baby you or enable you, but be able to understand what you're going through and give you what you need at that time. So I just want to put that out there because we always trying to be tough and seem like we this and that, nothing's ever wrong. No. Stuff be happening. Cut the cap, right? No need to cap about that. So shout out to my boo Daniela in the comments though. She said, hey, I'm loving what you saying, all facts. And she said, preach. Hey, girl. So that's a real friend right there in the StreamYard chat. Thank you for tuning in to Speak Up JV. So I want to say, too, this is another reminder. So we talk about mindfulness. And mindfulness is very important, and gratitude. So the saying I want to say is that even if a challenge is happening, there are still blessings in your life. That's huge. Because sometimes we let the challenge allow us to lose sight of the blessings that are right in front of us. Sometimes, like, I'll catch myself so caught up in what's happening. And sometimes I say, Renisa, stop for a second and look what's in front of you. There's so many blessings around you. You got made it home safely. You got to your destination safely. Your bills are paid. This happened. This. Sometimes you really got to sit there and break it down. I went to a seminar one day. And this, the speaker was talking about gratitude. He says sometimes gratitude, it might get to, I took a sip of water today. I had a meal in my stomach. Either way, those are still things to be happy about. Those are still blessings. And I think it's okay to shift that sometimes. You're going through it. Give your mind something else to focus on. Lately, I've been utilizing Disney Plus. And I've been watching all those little movies like from when I was kids. So last night I watched Brink. I don't know if y'all remember that one. That's a skating movie. And honestly, I'm loving it. I've been loving that movie because it's like it takes me back to when I was a kid and like I didn't have certain problems, right? And you got to do little things that just keep you happy, keep a smile on your face. Because if you don't and you focus and dwell on the challenge, you're going to end up getting caught in that. And I mean, real, these challenges come as big old clouds that haunt you. So example of blessings around you. Like I said, I had a challenging week last week, right? So this weekend I went to go visit my siblings and I have an adorable nephew. So adorable. And I'm using him as an example because I had so much on my mind. But when it was time to go to sleep, he like hugged me the whole night and just went to sleep. And I want to say that because I feel like babies can sense when something ain't right. They just know. But that was a moment of gratitude where it's like, that was like love, genuine love. And that helped me just feel better and shift my mind. Like, why am I spending so much time thinking about all these challenges that happen to me when there's blessings right in front of my face? Right? So sometimes it takes that and you have to remind yourself of those things and keep yourself grounded through it. But y'all know what time it is. It is time for our water segment. So if you're listening right now, please pull out some water and drink some water. Usually Jen would do the water fact for tonight, but I'm going to go ahead and read it for her. I miss you, Bessie, if you're listening. So the water fact for tonight is water reduces stress. Studies have shown that dehydration leads to higher, I can read that, stress levels, the stress hormone, making it harder to deal with everyday issues. By staying hydrated, you will be better equipped to deal with everyday problems. So please, y'all, drink some water. I want to say this. It's hot too. I was just in the IE last week and it was 106 degrees. Okay. Please drink some water and, lower your stress and allow yourself to be while you're being patient, right? Like I said, we're practicing effective patience. Drink water through that time. So I just want to say that. So that was our water fact for tonight. Y'all better have drank some water too. I don't want to hear that y'all was drinking some soda or something. We gonna cut soda. Please cut soda out of your diet. Don't even drink soda. Daniela in the comments said, love that movie. Yes, it's such a good movie. Y'all seen the movie Brink? It is such a good movie. I need to finish the rest of it though. Super, super dope. What is this? Hold on. I think we had another comment today. Okay, it's gone. Okay. Anyway. But yeah, so back to our episode. So please be drinking your water. I want to say this too. Challenging faces in your life will push you to look inward. So honestly, when I've got my ugliest, when life has got the roughest, the meanest, I've learned the most about myself. I learned there's beauty in those moments. Yeah, we're happy. Those are beautiful moments too. But when you really get real with yourself, you understand yourself, you see how strong you really are, right? How you're able to push through. I'm proud of myself for the times that I did not give up. When life did throw a curveball at me, and I look back like, when you look at the person that you become after that challenge, you be great. You're grateful that you looked inward. Sometimes we go through the challenge numbing everything, and then that's why we get nothing out of it. That's why I feel like there's still growth that still needs to be done. A lot of the wise people that we know, they weren't afraid to look inward and push through whatever it is that was causing them to be held back in the first place. So please allow yourself to look inward. So when I say looking inward, this is that real life self-reflecting, allowing yourself to cry, being real about not being okay, cutting people out of your life who don't need to be there, realizing who you are trauma bonding with, who secretly wants you to be down, which family members ain't good for you during those times. It's crazy because I tweeted this the other day that sometimes you have to stop being friends with certain family members. And we got family members that we're family with them, right? That's blood, it'd be what it is. But just because someone is in your family doesn't mean you have to be their friend anymore. I have a lot of family members that I was friends with, but I'm not a lot. I'm going to say a lot of family members. But I have family members that I was once friends with, but I'm no longer friends with them no more. It's like you're literally just what I see, just like the relationship family wise. And we have to reflect that too, because I feel like family's a big one with challenges, because I feel like sometimes our family puts the most pressure on us in certain ways that we can't even imagine, right? When it comes to challenges, they're the main ones like, oh, da, da. And don't get me wrong, it's not that they don't want the best from you. The reason why they do pump us up, give us that tough love sometime. But sometimes people aren't empathetic to what you're going through because they don't understand what you're going through, right? And I learned the importance too of talking to people who truly understand what I'm dealing with and who understand me as a person. We all deal with challenges differently. Patience should go across the board. I think this is just something everybody should have and we should learn. But we have to realize too that all of us have different coping mechanisms. Some of us like to be alone. Some of us like to talk to everybody. But it's really about understanding who it is and being there for people too when they need you, just like they're there when you need them. That's just something else I want to throw out there. So that's it. And I want to throw this too. Love yourself through it. So the good, the bad, the mean, the ugly, always give yourself love through it. Even when I catch myself crying about something and I'm like, dang, I knew I was tougher than that. I love myself through that moment because it's the reason why I'm crying. And sometimes things are triggering other things that are wrong with it. Sometimes it's not even, you ever cried about something and you're like, what the fuck? Why am I crying about this? Sometimes it's not even that's making you cry. Sometimes it's actually just triggering an old wound that you still have to work through. I learned to not take my tears for granted because that's just still an unhealed part of me that needs some love, that needs some nurturing, that needs to be refreshed, and replenished. So please give yourself that crying time. I be talking to people, I hear who say, oh, I don't cry. Nah, allow yourself to cry. You're gonna feel so much better. I mean, at least don't say that around me that you don't cry, because I think everybody needs to be crying. Men too. Just gotta throw that out there. I'm sorry, I'm trying to multitask this music and everything. So it's time now for our quote up segment. So our quote up segment, y'all know my best friend Jen, she's a quotey and she loves quotes. So she's not here tonight to share the quotes. I have the quote. So the quote for tonight is patience is the best remedy for every trouble by Platus. I love I love that quote, honestly. I was looking up quotes for tonight and I was like, it stood out to me because I'm like, it really is. Because anything that I've been through, that patience has helped me get through it. And then when you look back, when you got through it, you become happy that you were patient and you gave yourself grace through that time. You know, end of the day, don't let the challenge stop you from going after what you want. So I said this earlier, but do not give the challenge more power than it shouldn't get in the first place. Cause no, I don't care. I don't care what the challenge is. We gotta like still allow ourselves to push through and get things done. And you know, sometimes too, I learned this too. The steps become slower, but little progress is better than no progress. I be proud of myself for even if I get one little thing done. I've been practicing this too. I've been telling myself I'm doing my best. I used to be a perfectionist, so like if I made one little mistake, you know, a lot of it roots from my childhood of like always wanting to like get through school, get things done. That when I make the tiniest mistake, I used to be very hard on myself. But I've been practicing telling myself that I am doing my best. And honestly, telling myself that has actually helped me do better because I'm being nicer to myself. I am shifting my mindset. I'm not saying mean things to myself. I'm not kicking myself when I'm having a challenging moment. So that's something I want to throw in there too when you're actually going through those challenges. Um, Real big on that. I want to say too, feel free to call in at 323-900-0478. We love when y'all calling. Y'all be dropping gems. I can tell y'all listen to a lot of speak up. Cause when y'all be calling in, y'all be actually having me and Jen learning. Shoot, I love learning from y'all out there. I think it's important. And then for those of y'all too who weren't able to make it to our live show, we will be uploading it soon, so you guys could check it out and see how it went. We ended up talking about would you date yourself? So I know I think that's a good time, especially since it's like hot girl, hot boy summer. Super important to do it. Now back to the episode. I want to say too, you know, I learned too the power of pausing. We look down on pauses. Like I know you guys see people who are growing businesses, right? And they'll take a break, and it's like, oh, why did they stop? Da da da. I learned to not judge people when they take breaks, when they take pauses, when they take rest stops, because you never know what a person is dealing with. I don't care. Entrepreneurship is hard. Anything is hard. A job is hard, right? All kind of stuff. Think life can be hard at times. Sometimes we need to take a break, especially through the challenge. And that's where patience is hand in hand with that. Be patient with yourself when you are taking a pause. There's a reason that you need to take one in the first place, right? If we're spending that time when we're taking that pause, yelling at ourselves for doing it, you're never going to get back on the track because you're going to expect the path to be perfect. And from my understanding, this road of life is always going to be rocky, and it's going to be many pauses that are needed to be done. But as long as you didn't stop, that's all that matters, because you're not giving your challenge, you're not giving the challenge all of the power. Sometimes you got to size up the challenge, right? A challenge will happen, right? You ever needed to regroup and figure out how the F am I going to get through this? I've definitely had to do that. And all those times that I've done that actually has helped me pick myself back up and actually go harder fighting. You see it all the time with boxers, right? Don't they got to take that rest stop, drink their water? They coach got to talk to them. Don't be afraid to reach out to your mentor, to a wise family member, to a wise friend. One of our guests actually, she said the importance of having older friends. And I actually have an older homegirl. And she told me the real. And I recommend that. She said, the guest that we had, she said, have a friend younger than you, one your age, and one older than you. And it's true, you get all the perspectives through different things by having that. And I'm here when you're going through your challenges, that's definitely what you're gonna need, because I learned too, it's okay to talk to somebody who's been through what you're currently going through. You know, we don't have to feel like we always have to know every single thing, or that we're going to always have to figure things out. Sometimes God places people in your life to push you through the challenge and to help you get through it and give you the words of wisdom. I don't take words that are said to me for granted anymore. I really learn to really listen to somebody's really telling me something, and what is it trying to teach me? You know, it's definitely helped me in the long run. I want to hear some of you guys' coping mechanisms though, if y'all don't mind sharing. I would love to learn, like I said, because I'm a work in progress as well too. I'm going off of my experience. You know, if Jen was here, she would go off of hers. But y'all be having some good stuff too. I love to learn. I don't care who you are. I'm gonna learn from you regardless. So it's time for our wrap up segment. So this is when we wrap up the show. So honestly, how does this relate to self-love? Self-love is being patient with yourself. The journey of self-love, it's a lifelong journey. Jen always says this, actually. It's a lifelong journey. And if you're not patient with yourself through the process, you're going to you're going to have the opposite of peace in your life. You're going to get frustrated with yourself when old things come back. They always say healing isn't linear, right? Things are always going to come back and resurface. Shoot, even with me, like I've had levels of growth and I'm like, ooh. And then there'll be one little thing that'll kind of take me back to my inner child, to my wounded child at that, like, you know, hurt me, right? And I used to get frustrated with that. Like, I thought I was past this. And I learned, you know what? It's a lifelong journey. You know, you're never going to be fully healed, right? We all work on ourselves. We're doing the best that we can. But I learned to be patient when that cut starts to hurt again. You know, when there's something, you know, it's like, I like to have these little metaphors and similes on here, but it's like when a person gets in a car accident, right? And then, you know, they go through therapy and they're feeling better, but then later that same part of their body starts hurting again. And it's like, well, it's from the accident, right? There's certain things that are just going to stick with us every now and then and come up. But please be patient with yourself when those do arise. So it's the same thing with challenges. You know, challenges sometimes bring out the ugly in us. You know, we're not always going to be like, you know, we're happy and loving and in a good mood. We act a certain way. But the challenges is going to bring out that anger, that sadness, the frustration. And I learned to let that emotion pass. Like acknowledge it, let it come to me, and let it pass. But don't dwell in it and do not stay in it. That's just something I definitely I have to throw out there, because I used to catch myself getting frustrated when I would feel that way and then end up staying in it and then kind of relapsing into my old self. When really it's just a part of me that's still unhealed and needs work and needs love. Give yourself love daily, pour into yourself, say nice things to yourself, be around people who say nice things to you, who want the best for you. What are you feeding your mind? That's another thing. You know, I know we like to watch a lot of junk TV. Well, I don't watch it. But, you know, every now and then put on something soothing, you know, play instrumental. I don't know. For those jazz listeners out there, even if you don't listen to jazz, if you need something to listen to focus, I recommend the Miles Davis Kind of Blue album. Such a good album. That actually helped me get through college. I turned that on. And I'm telling you, if you need to focus and clear your mind, turn that album on. And I know y'all know about Miles Davis out there, especially my musicians out there. I ain't even a musician. Mama Papa put me on. Shout out to Daniela in the comments. She said a good workout helps. I can't say this word. Endorphin boost. Yeah. Workouts are bomb. I tell myself, like, I'm back running now. I forgot how good a good run feels, right? You know, like I said, it goes back to what I said, those healthy coping mechanisms. So definitely working out is one of them. But you have to feed your mind good things. I've been reading a lot lately, actually. I'm reading the book, The Power of Neuroplasticity. I forgot who the author, I got to remember his name. But it's just really talking about how our brain works, you know, what we're feeding it, how to program your mind. So it's like I said, all these shows we watch, this music that we listen to, I listen to everything. But I've been learning to change it. Like every now and then I gotta turn those oldies. I've something about oldies. Like I feel like it just does something good for the soul. I don't know. I be having to do little things like that to keep myself grounded. Play fast, happy music every now and then. Because like every now and then if you playing like so much negativity, that's how you gonna feel. Especially when you're going through a challenge, right? That's the last thing that you need. Another thing I want to say is to let time heal as well. You know, and that goes hand in hand with patience. You know, what are we doing with that time? But allow time to do its job too. You know, it's just like a wound when you get hurt physically. Time passes over time and it feels better. It's the same with our inner wounds. It's the same with things that are in front of us happening to us. Let time do its job. Now don't rely solely on time. If there's work needed to be done, do the work. So it's like if you're getting over a breakup, if you spending that time not working on yourself, not self-reflecting, not doing healthy coping mechanisms, guess what's going to happen? Time is going to pass and you're going to be in the same place. So you have to do the work and let time do its job at the same time. Oh, I don't know. I said time too many times in that sentence, but yeah, y'all know what I'm trying to say. And I don't know. And then you look back and you be feeling good and all that. And I want to say this too. This is another quote that helps me get through life too, is look back at obstacles that you got through 5 years ago. So when I'm going through something tough, I always look back 5 years. I'm like, there was a moment when I felt this way, like, damn, how the F am I going to get through this? But I got through it. So I use that because I'm like, if I could get through whatever happened 5 years ago that I was so worried about at that time, okay, this is just a new obstacle. It's like Biggie, say, what? More money, more problems. The more you level up in life, it's a different type of problem that comes with that, and each problem, each challenge is setting you up for the future. And setting you up for the next problem, the next problem, the next problem. Me and Jen talk about this all the time. We'll say little things like, we can't expect our podcast, right, to become this huge platform, millions of listeners, this, and da, 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 if we can't even talk in front of 3 people, right? So that's why I'm grateful for each baby step, because each baby step has prepared me for the bigger steps. Like, talking just to each other, then talking in front of 5 people, talking in front of our listeners, now talking in front of a live audience. Those are the building blocks. And that's the same way challenges are. Those many challenges are going to come with whatever stage that you are in life. But as you level up and grow more, it's going to be another challenge that's equipping you for the next level in your life. So don't be afraid of that. Because in the day, it's serving its purpose. And it's all about balance, And like I said, I said this, I think we said this in our last episode, enjoy the happy moments when they're there. Be mindful of how you're feeling. All that stuff goes hand in hand with each other. Just like we give attention to the sad moments, give attention to the happy moments. Because you look up, the happy moments pass. And you spend so much time dwelling on a challenge. So is it all those, I don't know, just take these gems with me. And I want to say this too, challenges are normal. Go through them and it's worth it at the end of the day, because I don't know if y'all ever quit something before. I'm trying to think if I ever quit anything, probably when I was younger. I usually don't quit stuff. I usually, if I want to do something, I do it. But I think when I was a child, if I probably quit something, I was like pissed that I quit. And it's like, we owe ourselves what we want to go after. We owe ourselves that. So put in the work and get it. I don't know. Hard work is very important. And I want to say this, patience is a skill worth picking up. So a way I've been working on my patience, I've been sitting still. I realize I'm always doing something, right? Like we think we're always like checking our phone, doing this, doing that. We're never like really catching time, right? But the more I've been sitting with myself, really just doing the 5 minutes of silence or meditating or just allowing myself to do nothing and just disconnect from everything, that's been teaching me patience. That's been bringing calmness into my life. Because it's hard to practice patience if you're always jumping to the next task. Because what is patience? Because you're used to your mind is going to get used to things happening like this, and this. I even take a lot of social media breaks. Think about when we're constantly scrolling. Shout out to Moni from Never Not Extra. On one of our live shows, she had mentioned that our minds are not meant to take in that much information at once. We're scrolling online, we're reading the internet, we're doing this, we're multitasking. We're doing too much, right? And I think that's where that comes from, where we end up having that lack of patience when a challenge arises. Think about if your computer starts acting stupid, you start getting frustrated in that second. It just started acting down for 5 seconds. But we're so impatient, we can't even get a computer time to read, to process and buffer. So it's the same idea with ourselves. You're taking that moment of stillness, that moment of calmness, you're able to think more clearly and stuff. And shout out to my friends who've been saying I've been more calm lately. Thank you, because I've been really working on that. Shout out to Liz. She said, yes. Thank you, girl. Thank you for tuning in and listen. Hopefully, I'm glad I could drop some gems on here. And I want to say, too, you are exactly where you were supposed to be at this moment. So, we in a time where we feel like, because we saw this person do this and this person pop in here, we need to be there. We need to be doing that. Please acknowledge that everybody's journey is different. We all have our own direction to go, our own unique path. And you're on your path where you need to be at this moment. Not where Joe is, not where Brianna is. You're doing what you need to do at this moment. And please be mindful of that. And your lessons are going to be different from everybody else. That's why your story is different. That's why your journey is different. So I want you guys to take a moment to be like, I am where I need to be at this moment. This is the page that I'm on in my book. And there's still more pages to come. And do what you can in that effective patience. Remember, y'all, tonight's about effective patience, not just patience, effective patience. I'm not saying wait around, sit around. What are you doing in that time period? So please use this time to self-reflect, look inward, be nice to yourself, prepare for the next stage that's coming in your life. And that patience will get you through the challenge and equip you for what's coming after. And my wrap-up sentence for tonight, usually Jen will say this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it is, remember to take the smooth route. Allow yourself to learn on your journey, even through the challenge. So remember, y'all, the smooth route is the patience. I appreciate y'all tapping into our 70th episode live on the Good News Radio. Quick shout out to our amazing sponsor. Shout out to My Bar. Get your nails, your lashes, your hair done. The Instagram is at nyy.bar. Also, shout out to Be Actual Natural. The Instagram is at Be Actual Natural. And also shout out to our newest sponsor at AM Luxury Love Cosmetics for organic skincare line. The Instagram is at AM Luxury Love Cosmetics. Love is spelled L-U-V. I love y'all so much. Follow us on Instagram at SpeakUpJV, on Twitter at SpeakUpJV, and tell your friends to download the Good News Radio app to tune in with us every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We love y'all, and we'll be back next week. Bye.
Are you ready to move?
Jane, you got